Hi, everyone. We have author KF Johnson here, and she's going to tell us a little bit about herself.
Hey everybody. I am from Queens, New York. I live in Atlanta, Georgia right now. I've been here for a long time. I went to Spelman College, graduated, and I just never moved after that. I've been a published author since 2012. I write romantic suspense, teetering on thriller. One of my books was nominated for a Best Thriller Award, so it depends on which one of my books that you read. You get a little more murder than maybe some other books. I just released my seventh book today, and it's a Christmas novella.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm married. I have kids, a cat, love animals, that kind of thing.
How long have you been writing?
Well, I've been writing forever. I used to be on punishment a lot. So I not only got good at reading, I got good at writing.
Right.
So, but I wrote in college, published little things here and there. But I became a published author in 2012. That's the first book that I ever published was in 2012. So about 8 years now.
Okay. And what inspired you to start writing?
Like I said, punishment. I just was enjoying. I enjoyed the books I was reading so much that I wanted to write. And my imagination has always been wild. I'm one of those people that is like an idiot savant about like movies and TV. Like I know too much about movies and too much about television. And so my mind is always going that way. And my bachelor's is in psychology. So I used to want to be a forensic psychologist. So it's kind of like with a twist, like, I have like twisted thoughts, but I don't want to go to jail ever. So it's better to just, put it on paper and live your best life,
Right. So 7 books total. Did you experience any writer's block?
Yes, a lot of writer's block. Actually, as terrible as 2020 has been in general, it has been great for me as an author because it allowed me some downtime because I was always like, oh, I haven't finished this book. I don't have the time. I don't have whatever. And working from home and being home so much that I didn't have that excuse. And so I was able to put out 2 books this year, which usually it takes me, the fastest book I've ever put out was 8 months. So okay. This has been an opportunity for me to hone my writing, figure out outlining things and how to write more succinctly. Whereas before, I didn't even have an ending in mind when I used to write. I just write because I was feeling like it. And then I would just get to the ending eventually. But now, I use an actual outline. I know where the plot is going. I mean, it always ends up like that eventually, but now I know ahead of time. So that allows me to write a little faster. Even though I might change things up, at least I know where it's going.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So tell us about your books.
Okay, so I write romantic suspense. Almost all my books are basically about good relationships going really, really bad, where people die of unnatural causes in some cases. I have 3 2-book series, okay. And then the standalone that I put out today, which is a Christmas book, is called Stab This Christmas. That book just came out today. Like I literally just published it today.
Okay.
So don't have a picture of it, but it's an easy name to remember. Stabbed This Christmas. So you can remember that one easy. And like I said, Definitely. It's a novella, so it's just a short read. It's like 80 pages, like a 2-hour read or less. And then my other 3 books, now all my books are in the back of me. So What I Do for Love is one series. This is the one that was nominated for Best Thriller 2017. It also has a sequel that I put out September 30th. And it is about a wife who finds out her husband cheated on her, and so she kills him and frames a side chick.
Ooh.
Yes, and so now she's looking for new love, and anybody who gets in the way of that may find themselves taking a dirt nap. But although they may sound Lifetime movies, they're not. Like my books make sense. It won't be predictable. That's one thing I pride myself on. I love when readers say something like, girl, I did not expect that ending, or I didn't expect this to happen. I am one of those people who researches a lot. I talk to my attorney friends, my police friends. I Google everything. I talk to doctors when I have people get shot or stabbed or whatever. I don't like things not to make sense. Because when I'm watching a movie, that's what I'm thinking. Like, that don't even make no sense. Or,
Right. That's not possible. Yeah.
Right. I don't like that. So I try to make my books, although they're crazy. I mean, there's definitely some crazy people in there doing crazy things. It could possibly happen. Might not be something that would happen, but it could happen, So the first book I ever put out was Behind Closed Doors. And this is a 2-book series also. It's about a brother and sister find out that their father dies mysteriously at their mother's house. And all these family skeletons start falling out of the closet. And it's about how some of their secrets catch up to them in the manipulation. And again, that's the sequel also. And then When I'm Bad, I'm Better.
Okay.
It's about 4 cousins who are good girls on the surface, great jobs, seem like really good girls, but they all have these seedy secrets, and it's about the things they're willing to do to keep those secrets from resurfacing. Okay. And that's also a 2-book series. So that's 7.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And tell us where we can purchase them.
You can purchase all of my books on Amazon. I don't know if you can see this, but I have this for a little easy, all my website information also. My website is KF as in Frank Johnson Books.com. And not only do I sell all my books on there, the paperback autograph copies you can get on there, but you can also get nice stuff like this bookish necklace and other like book lover type jewelry and stuff is also sold on my website. And it's priced like between $3 and $15. Okay. So they're really affordable, especially if you have a book club or you're an author going to a book club meeting and you want to give out gifts. Like, they're really affordable things on there. All the Kindle versions and audiobook, all my books are in audiobook except for the last 2 because they're still in process of being put to audiobook. But my first 5 books are all in audiobook also. So you can go on Amazon, you can get any of those things on Amazon or any other, book club or rather book website that you would look for.
Okay. It's good that they're on audio because a lot of our readers, they love audio. I feel like I missed some stuff with audio though.
You know what? Because you get so busy sometimes you don't have time to what I call eyeball read. You don't have time to look at it. So for me, audiobooks are a lifesaver sometimes because I don't want to miss the book. Like, people talking about how good a book is. Well, I want to read the book, but I don't have time. So listening to it, I get the same experience,
Yes. Okay, and out of all 7 books of yours, who was your favorite character?
I would say Greer Patterson. She's the heroine in What I Do for Love. Mainly because, one, she is probably the most psychotic character that I've ever written, and so I did a lot of research to try to make sure that I made her true to form. I'm one of those people, like, I don't just make people do stuff. Like, there's a background to that. There's a reason why they're that way. And she's like the most fun, probably the most talked about character other than Brian in Behind Closed Doors. They talk about Greer the most. And also because the sequel just came out this year. So she's back in people's mouths, because she's doing crazier stuff in the second book than she was in the first. So she's, to me, it's fun to write these crazy characters because it's stuff I would never do, but it's just fun. And I like the readers' reactions. Like, I think it's funny when they're like inboxing me, like, you probably are a murderer, or, they say all kinds of crazy stuff to me. I think it's funny. I'm like, I'm glad that y'all like it that much, and they think she's crazy. So the crazier they talk about her, the more I like it, because that means you're paying attention. She at least got your attention, whether you love her or hate her, because some people hate her, but they hate her so much they still want to see what she's doing though.
Right.
I like that.
Yeah, that's how life is, right? Like, I don't like her, but let me check her Instagram.
Yeah, it's like reality TV. You hate some of these people, but you still want to see what they're gonna do.
Yep. Now, how do you think being a writer has helped you as a person?
I think that it has. I I've always been extroverted, but funny enough, I'm not really a people person. Like, like I'm friendly in general, and I like stuff with my friends, but I'm not the type of person to go up to somebody and just start talking to them. Or I always hated like public speaking and stuff like that. And since I have become an author, it's necessary if you're going to market your books. I do a lot of book events. So if you're at a book event, you can't, it's not like on television, how I used to think it was on television. You just sit at the desk and everybody comes up. Like, that's not how they go at most events. You sit at that desk and don't do anything, you will sell 0 books. Right. So I have become more outgoing in that way. Like I approach people and talk to them, and you know, I have more fun. I love book club meetings. I especially, you know, it's just fun. So those things I think they've made me a little more outgoing. And in general, I mean, I've always been, I care about going to Spelman College, you know, you learn, you know, community is important and stuff like that. And so just hearing different people's stories, meeting so many authors and stuff like that, I've become more active in certain, you know, ways as far as helping out in the community.
Okay. And my next question, which I already know the answer is, are you a reader? But I see your library behind you. Yes. And you already said you like the audiobook. So who's your favorite author?
Okay, so that's hard because I have, depends on what genre. I read so many genres. Like back in the day with Stephen King. I used to read all Stephen King stuff. But I love Carl Weber. He's also from Queens, New York. So that's, you know, I'm gonna read my Queens boy. You know, he's got like some awesome series, and now, you know, he's got movies out and stuff like that. Alexandria House, she writes like romance. She writes African American romance. Her books are awesome. Love Alexandria House. It's nothing better than becoming an author when you love authors or you love books, because you get to meet some of them sometimes. And then I'm trying not to fangirl about it, you know? But I mean, there's so many, because I read so many genres, you know, but that's probably the cusp of, you know, like B.M. Harden. I like her books, you know, stuff like that.
So is there anything else that you would like to tell us about your books?
I would like to say that, I don't know, if you enjoy just like a good thriller, like some people getting some revenge for people doing them dirty, you know, you will enjoy it. I try to add a little bit of wit. I'm a sarcastic person by nature. I'm, you know, Sagittarius. My birthday is coming on Sunday. And
happy early birthday.
Thank you. So being that I'm sarcastic, like of course that's in my writing. And so I try to make it a little fun, you know, although there's some menacing aspects, hopefully, you know, people aren't too squeamish with some of the murders that might happen, or, and you know, the sex is pretty, it's a little explicit. It's not a whole lot of sex, but there's definitely 2 or 3, you know, sex scenes in every book where, you know, it's definitely not PG-13 or anything.
Oh yeah, listen, our book club will get you. They'd be like, listen, the sex scenes, you gotta make the sex scenes a little better, or you know, your sex scenes was off the hook. So yeah, we do. We love a good sex scene.
Yes. So, you know, it's a little something, but you know, I just feel like if you want to have a good time, I mean, then my books aren't saving the world. They're not self-help books or anything like that. It's just a form of entertainment to just get away from all the stress that you got going on, and maybe laugh at some of the foolery of some of these people, because sometimes they're just doing the most where you're like, this fool, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, that's what I think. I think if you're a person who likes a little bit of romantic suspense and some fun, and you're not too, you know, prudish about maybe some profanity or something like that, I think you'll enjoy my books.
Okay. Now, if you could recommend one of your books or the series to any new readers out there, which one would you recommend for them to read first?
Okay, so depending on what people teeter more towards, I mean, Behind Closed Doors was the very first book I published, and it's the one that started my career off. So I would of course recommend that, because it was the book that people talked about the most, that turned me into a legitimate author. Okay. So Behind Closed Doors, Love Hurts, that's the subtitle of it. I would recommend it for that, for the new reader. It's the first book. But because I do have the new series, What I Do for Love Too, and Greer is the craziest of them. Like, if you just want to jump in on the nutcase, get to What I Do for Love. Or, Stab This Christmas that I put out today. There's a bit of a problem in that one as well. Somebody is a problem in that. And what I do is all of my books, even though they're all 2-book series, the characters skip into different books. So if you've read one series or read one book by me, you might recognize a character when you're reading other books. So you might say, oh, that's Brian from Behind Closed Doors when you read in When I'm Bad, I'm Better. Like, I don't know. I always think that's fun when I read books and I recognize a character. I feel like I'm special because I know, like, oh, that's so-and-so from this book, So I incorporate that in my own writing. I like to jump a couple of characters in and stuff. And sometimes they drop little ditties on what's happening in the next book. Like when I put When I'm Bad, I'm Better 2 out, I hadn't put out What I Do for Love 2 yet. And I hadn't put that out yet. So I make like little references to the other characters because they kind of know them. So people who read that were like, oh, snap, you're going to be putting out What I Do for Love 2? And, that kind of thing. So it's just fun. To me, this is a way to interact with my readers. And like I said, I'm a reader too. So it's just fun, I think, to just be able to incorporate some of those things in there.
Okay. Sounds very interesting. I got to put one of these books in our to be read queue.
Please.
Well, that question was really for me. It was for them, but it was for
Well, listen, they all get pretty decent stuff, but like I said, it depends on what you want. I mean, When I'm Bad, I'm Better is about 4 different. I write in the first person, so the characters, if there's more than one main character, it's going to be more than one person talking for themselves. What I Do for Love is just one main character, so it's her voice throughout the whole thing. Behind Closed Doors is Brian and his sister Brenda, so it's just those 2 characters. In the sequel, it's 3 people talking because somebody mysteriously pops up in that first book that ends up in the second book.
Oh, okay.
And so it just depends on what you're looking for, because they all have different plots, they all have different causes for what they're doing. And like I said, I make it a point to not make them be predictable, or I try not to make them like something that you have read before. How people just like, oh, in every urban, like, don't get me wrong, I love urban fiction, I love street lit, I read it all the time. But if I read one more drug dealer with his college girlfriend, I'm just like, everybody always, or she opened up a hair salon and now you doing, I try not to make it all the typical kind of stuff because I grew up in a lower middle class family, but I didn't grow up directly in the hood. So certain things I don't write about because I don't know about it.
Right.
I mean, I might know about it because I know certain people, but that wasn't my life. So that's not what so these people have jobs, regular working class, office manager for a doctor's office, like, that kind of stuff. So these are about regular people, just like regular people we know. Okay.
And have you ever wrote multiple books at the same time?
I have tried, and I'm kind of getting into that now since I got my outline down, I get my stuff together. So, I think the more time I've had, the more excited I've become. And I have a whole lot of book covers just waiting for me to write the book to them.
Nice.
Yeah, so I got about maybe 4 books kind of in the process. And I'm thinking about writing a horror book.
Ooh.
So I have a different pen name that I'm going to use for that, so it won't throw people off, Okay. But I have a good idea for a good horror book that I'm going to put out. But Okay. So if you hear about Maya Mayhem, that's going to be your girl. Rewind. It is www.kf as in Frank JohnsonBooks.com. So it's kfjohnsonbooks.com. And like I said, you can get, any autographed copies of my books on there. There's also links to Amazon and to my Goodreads and all my social media and stuff like that. Even though you can see it on that little fan, You can get to any of my social media there. We can connect there. And pretty much all my social media handles are the same. Like author KF Johnson is for Instagram. KF Johnson Books is for Twitter. That kind of thing. And it's what KF Johnson Author is on Facebook. So pretty much everything has to do with that moniker somewhere.
Okay. Well, thank you, Miss KF Johnson, for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. This was fun.
Yes, thank you. All right, everybody. That was author KF Johnson telling us about her books. Make sure you purchase a copy or 2 or 7. Like this video and subscribe below. Bye.